So what do you think your passions like in life is? Like what gets you up in the morning, what gets you going, what you know what I'm saying? What's the drive?
Family.
Okay.
People love me.
Okay.
That's my drive every day. Like that.
Like what gets you guys up in the morning? What gets you guys going? Like your passion?
The studio. Yeah, God, but then I'm ready to go to the studio every day. I'm ready to do my tattoos every day. I'm about to go do some tattoos right now.
Okay.
So that's why.
Then we're gonna be back on both God and smoking some J's with me.
When Jesus was talking to the woman at the well in Samaria, you know, he said that the water that she drinks, she's going to thirst again, you know, the water from that well. But the water that Jesus is going to give her, you know, if she takes that water, she will never thirst again. You know, so what water was Jesus talking about? You know, when he said that he is the bread of life, you know, and if anyone eats of him, then they won't ever go hungry again. You know, so what does that mean? You know, so we still get hungry, we still get thirsty. What Jesus was talking about, that the hole that's within all of us, he's gonna fill it. You know, he's gonna put himself in it, you know, so that we can be completely satisfied and never go hungry again. Never go hungry wanting for things that's not gonna fill that void, you know.
Being passionate about Jesus Christ is about putting Jesus Christ first, and a lot of things, making him the center of your everything, basically. And what people fail to realize is that everything does mean everything. Doesn't mean 80%, doesn't mean 10%, doesn't mean 50%, means 100% of yourself devoted to Christ. What's your passion? Who are you working for? Are you aiming to please God, or are you aiming to please man? Are you serving God? Are you serving money? You're going to be serving one or the other. You know, you can't be teeter-totter on this fence or anything, because God doesn't like no lukewarm people. Like he said, he spits them out of his mouth.
So you really got to ask yourself this key question, you know, is your purpose in life bigger and greater than what God can offer you? You know, bigger than God's intended purpose for your life? Like, is your purpose greater than that? You know, the answer should be no. You know what I'm saying? God is big, man. God is huge, and he created us. He created everything, you know. So of course, you know, what he has for us is going to be bigger than anything we can dream up for ourselves, you know. Again, we long for these things that only stack up to here, you know what I'm saying? God's like design goes all the way up to the sky. Like God, he has something so big for us, you know. And I want you to think about the kids, you know, whose bellies are out to here because they don't have enough to eat, because they're malnourished. You know, think about the people who have to work day and night just so they can put food on the table, just so they can survive. You know, and ask yourself, if your purpose in life is to get money, like if all that stuff is taken away, then would you still have a reason to live? You know, would you still feel the need to go on if your money, your job, everything was taken away? You know, would you still be able to go on? And Acts 17 says, God determined the exact places where we should live and the exact times, and God did this so that men would seek him, you know, and reach out for him and perhaps find him, though he's not far from each one of us. So, you know, he has a plan for all this. You know, the reason you're, you know, there or wherever you're at, you know, it's not by accident. You know, God has a plan. He wants to be known. He wants to be sought out. And the people, you know, who don't have, you know, money and all these things that Americans esteem so much, you know, some of them got it. Some of them figured out that their life does not consist of material things. It does not consist of money. But, you know, the reason for living is to know God, is that there's a God out there, you know, who wants to be known. And they figured it out. So that's why, you know, they're able to find joy and happiness, because, you know, they realize that God is real, you know, and that's the real deal, you know. I guess think about that, like how do people like in third world, like Africa or Middle East, like how do they live? Like how, if they're like if they live in poverty and have to, you know, work the whole life, like how do they find joy and happiness? And the thing is, like in America, our joy and happiness, you know, typically comes from the dollar, you know, comes from money, comes from, you know, getting a good job, you know, when we graduate. One thing that you have to understand is that you do not choose to be born in America or wherever you're at. You know, you did not choose the place where you want to live. You know, you did not choose the year that you were going to be born in. All that stuff, you know, was determined by God. And for all the people, you know, who's living out, you know, whose purpose in life is to get money, or whatever it is, you know, your career or education, if that's your sole purpose in life, then you really got to ask yourself, you know, what about the other people who don't have this, you know, who don't have access to education or money, or, you know, probably more than half the world, you know, is living under the means of which, you know, Americans live by. And I dare you to take, you know, a trip, go outside this country, or go on Google or something. Just do some research about, you know, the way that people live in other countries, you know, in the poverty-stricken areas, and see how are they able to live. If your view of life is to get money, you know, if you say money equals happiness, then that means probably more than half the world isn't happy because they don't have money, you know. So does that really make sense? You know, if people are having, you know, this idea that, you know, their sole purpose in life is to get material things, then, you know, then what about the other people who don't have that? And
Like your passion in life, what do you think that is? What do you feel that is? Like what gets you going?
Oh, just being around my family. Family and things that make you happy.
Yeah.
Oh, first of all, man, you got to give all to God, because without him, it won't be anything, you know what I'm saying? I don't wake myself up, you know what I'm saying? So, and plus I have a 14-year-old son, has a sister with 3 months old, so that's my big purpose right now, to make sure he has everything he needs from his dad. He won't go wanting without anything, and he won't get caught up in the trap, in this trap out here, selling drugs, fighting, disrespecting elders, and more or less disrespecting stuff. So I try to keep him in that vein to do the right thing, you know what I'm saying?
there's so many people out here searching for that. You know, they're searching for someone to fill that hole, or something to fill that hole that's in them. You know, that's why, you know, they try to fill themselves with all these things that they think they can satisfy them, but, you know, in reality it doesn't. You know, and then they go to something else. You know, if it's not drugs, it's money. It's not money, it's sex. If it's not sex, you know, it's porn or whatever, you know. So all these things, you know, people go from A to B to C to D to figure out, you know, what is it that can satisfy them. You know, and Jesus said that he will satisfy you. You know, he's going to give you that living water. He's going to give you that bread of life.
That's how purpose of life and passion go together, because you need that drive to know that your purpose in life. Some people say they, like I said, they want to get rich. So what they're going to do is their passion is to get money. No matter how cruddy it may be, no matter how they get it, they're going to get money. But my passion in life is to do Jesus Christ's work, go out there and preach the gospel to people, witness, and do what I can do to advance the kingdom of God, because that's what the passion I have for living a life, a godly life for Jesus Christ, like Jesus Christ said to. That means going through the struggle, like that means praying, reading, studying, and going through witnessing things. Also witnessing the people also. That's my passion, because that's why I get out, because that's the hunger that you get from being a child of God.
So God wants to fill us with that purpose, you know, but sin is blocking the way. That's why Christ had to come, you know, to get rid of sin, to defeat sin and death, so we can intimately know God, you know, so we can have that purpose, that design purpose that God intended for us to live, and to really live out this life the way it's supposed to be, you know.
So that's my passion. My passion is living for Christ. Not fake living, not fake faith in it, not faking it out, none of that stuff. But living for Christ, that's what you gotta do, and that's what I'm gonna do too. That's right. That's how we should do until the day that we die. And passion does not run out, it rejuvenates itself, it continues to go on. But it never runs out. None of the disciples stopped until they died. Paul didn't stop until he died. None of them stopped till they died. So that's where our passion has to be.
In the book of Luke, you know, Luke chapter 12, Jesus gives a real huge parable about, you know, us esteeming material things over God. You know, he gives a parable about the rich fool who stored up all these things for years. And he said, you know, I'm going to live happy, and I got all these goods and materials that, you know, is going to keep me good. And God said, you know, fool, like your soul is going to be required of you tonight. And he said, all those things that you stored up, who are they going to be? You know, who are they going to be divided to? He said, you know, and the same is with anyone who stores up treasures for himself and is not rich towards God. You know, you think about Michael Jackson, you know, when he died, you know, I don't know how much money he made. You know, he made a lot of money, we just say that. You know, but where's that stuff divided now? I mean, he's gone. Like, he's dead now. And, you know, all of his treasures, you know, his mansion and money and all that stuff is getting divided. So it's like, you know, you store so much on this earth, you know, but you can't take that with you once you die. You know, that stuff's going to still stay here. You know, a famous adage is, you know, you never seen a hearse with a U-Haul. Like, you never seen anybody taking all this stuff with them to the grave, you know. That stuff's going to stay here. So what about your soul? Your soul is so much more important, you know, than material things.